sufficient capacity for managing his pain. He got a full breath without screaming, felt his ribs expand and his diaphragm flex, and pressed a palm flat to the corrugated decking. The hand expanded as his weight bore down. Within the envelope of his skin, flesh and bone held. He straightened the elbow, lifted the shoulder, dragged the second numb arm out from under his body, braced it as well, pushed, locked out both elbows, and let his head hang. On your knees was halfway to standing. Tristan gritted half-rebuilt teeth and finished the job. For seconds, it was all he could do to remain upright. He hadn't even the strength to put out a hand and steady himself on the skinned, gray-membraned interior of the open tank door. But if he fell, he did not know how long it would be before he rose again, if he had the courage to try it at all. Sticky feet slurping the deck, Tristan turned and walked a step. Now he stroked fingertips lightly along the surface of the pods, finding his balance. Deep breaths, slow until he could no longer taste the blood on each, pushed oxygen into his blood. At least the atmosphere was holding. Examining the warped bulge of the sky, he amended, at least here the atmosphere was holding. Staring up at the sky helped keep his eyes off the horizon. It took 10 dragging steps and 47 seconds to shuffle to the readout panel of the acceleration tank 2 places to the left. This tank remained sealed. Condensation brushed from the readout, revealed as many orange and yellow status lights as blue, but even when he squinted to focus blurring vision, there were no red ones. That was relief. That fresh upwelling that stung his eyes and tightened his chest, though it took moments before Tristan could parse the sensation as emotion rather than pain. Perceval was alive. He leaned heavily on the mint-green exterior of her tank, and for the next few moments concentrated on controlled breathing. Strength was slowly returning, but he would need resources. Protein, calcium, fluids and collagen and amino acids, all substances his symbiont was depleting as it repaired his wounds. When the hold stopped spinning in his vision, he lifted his head. Hello? It echoed. Layered, complex echoes that would have told him a great deal about the shape of the hold if he hadn't known it already, and the number and arrangement of the tanks. The heavy echo of fluid rang back from every side. Other than the one he had emerged from, each nearby acceleration tank was full. He wondered how many of the world's scattered survivors had trusted the voice of the angel when it declared emergency, and how many of those had managed to find an undamaged tank before it was too late. Khan. He tried to find a voice of command. Khan, can you hear me? Prince Tristan. The bodiless voice was a stranger's, but it carried inflections familiar enough to layer new aches and sorrow over already complex emotions. It was the voice of Perceval's new angel, and he could imagine he heard Rienne's phrasing in its words. I hear you, said Tristan Khan. What is your name? A pause followed, which would not be the angel pausing. When the answer came back, it was with the echo of Perceval's voice, the muddy qualities of sub-vocalized speech. I have not been named. We're underway, Tristan said, watching egg-blue bruises recede beneath the translucent skin of his arms. Is the ram scoop functioning? Yes, said the angel. A shimmer in the air, and it... He, Tristan guessed, though he must admit to himself that he was guessing, faded into visibility. The material